This word independence, man, it triggers me a lot these days. There is no such thing as independence. There is independence of something, but you're normally going to be dependent on something else. I say this because a lot of us are raised to want to be independent of our parents. When are you going to move out of your parents' home? When are you going to get your own place? When are you going to get a job? You become independent of your parents, but then you become dependent on the job, on the system, on whoever's in charge, etc. So I think when you ask about independence, your question has a lot to do with working for agendas that are not our own. So a lot of us have not defined what that actually is. Um, Africans want an African agenda, which is cute, but it's also still lazy because we don't have to limit ourselves to the African continent. There's an entire world out there with like minded people who happen to not be African, but who are like us in many ways. There are many people of the African continent who are evil people, bad people, who are destructive people, and who we should not be working with. So just because they're African doesn't mean that they are our brothers and sisters. But we do want solutions for ourselves and our agenda. And unfortunately, the people that set the agenda for the African continent are the people that colonized us in the past and the people that to this day profit from an undereducated, weak Africa. So the schooling system that we have now is a schooling system that serves the capitalist agenda of you must get matric, get a degree, a diploma, so that you can get a job for a big company, whether it's local or foreign, but based here to make them money. The schooling system does not serve you in how do you best serve your family and your community. So the sad thing about the schooling system we have now is almost everything we are taught is meant to push us as far away as possible from our people. By our people, I'm talking about your parents, I'm talking about your extended family, and I'm speaking about your community. Your community doesn't have to be black people. Some of us are raised in the suburbs. The sooner we can build alternative institutions where, I want to deviate. The sooner we can build alternative institutions where the focus is on self-determination and your well-being and the well-being of your loved ones, the sooner we can have what you speak about, which is your type of independence and power. The deviation I want is the Children's Act. I'm a father of 6 children. The Children's Act of South Africa focuses on the best interests of the child, which sounds beautiful. And every time you're in a court, magistrate, every time you sitting with a family advocate, every time a mother and father are arguing around where the child should stay, who should get primary residence and access, this line gets brought up. What is in the best interest of the child? What is in the best interest of the child? And you end up reciting that line. And if you're the mother of my child and I'm arguing with you, in our argument, both of us are meant to focus on what's in the best interest of the child. I think that's wrong. I think what's in the best interest of the child should be what's in the best interest of the family. And I think if we could change the wording in the Children's Act from what's in the best interest of the child to what's in the best interest of the family, I think we will solve a whole lot of problems. So our schooling system prioritizes individual excellence. How well are you going to do by yourself? Not how well are you going to do as a group. Not how well are you going to do as a class. And it doesn't integrate family engagement. And I deviated because I'm thinking if I have a child and I'm sending them to school, I'm sending them to individualism. They are not coming back from school and engaging me and their mom and saying, this is what I learned at school. And then we engage them and we say, the mathematics you learned, the science you learned, this is how it factors into our lives. I've tweeted before that it cannot be that your framework of success is how far away you are from your family. If you are a medical doctor, if you are an engineer, if you are a chartered accountant, all of us in your family should become by default honorary, whatever you are, because every time you come back from school, we're meant to sit and you're meant to educate and impart such that when I go out into the world, I'm like, when you have this illness, this is the issue. Do you know this issue in engineering is called whatever? How do you know that? Did you study? You're like, no, my child studies this. And they come back and they impart with the family and the community. That is real education for me. And as long as our institutions are not serving that, we are being misled and we are only serving the interests of the elite, most of them being the incumbent inherited minority wealth from apartheid and colonization in South Africa, and then now foreign interests in the form of American business, European business, Asian business. And that is fundamentally who we're serving. Even the notion of hypnotizing the masses with an obsession with jobs is bullshit. Our forefathers did not have jobs. This concept that we have to measure a successful government with its ability to create jobs is rubbish. How well can you uplift and empower your people to be self-determining? Not how well can they get a job. My great-great-grandfather didn't need a job. He had a piece of land and he worked it for the benefit of his family. His woman or his women, multiple, would work it, and his children the same. We see it in the Indian communities. We see it in the Jewish communities. They still have that concept. For us, as the Black African child, our measure of success is, where do you work? What job do you have? What do you want from your political leaders? We want jobs. No, it's a script. We don't want jobs. We want true empowerment so we can own our destiny.